Hi, it's Terrible Tuesday in Monstrous May. So, my Twitter followers want me to read from this book today, The Darkest Sword. It is a dark fantasy horror from the point of view of a villain, so it gets a little dark, especially the villain I'm about to read about that everybody wanted to hear so much about. He's really nasty, so if you don't like horror, you're triggered by abuse, or anything like that, you're probably not going to want to listen to this one, okay? This is chapter 13, by the way, of The Darkest Sword. It'll have Asen as the main character. There's also Soren and Rurik as characters, and Sia. You shouldn't be here, Soren mumbled as he hurried through the dim corridor of the tower. Asen followed behind him, unconcerned. He had more important things on his mind than Rurik. This place is a massive library. Rurik studies all sorts of magic, does he not? He has to have something that tells me where this blade is. I need you to go. Come back later, Soren grumbled as he scurried around, gathering items. A bag of dust there, legs of a bird next. When he had a handful of items and had turned to hurry out past Asen again, he yelped as Asen blocked him, moving into his space and backing him against the wall. Asen leaned on an arm across the doorway, his eyes narrowed. Do you understand, Soren? If I get this blade, I can kill Radamanthus. You don't understand that if I don't get these ritual ingredients to Rurik, I'll be the next one he sacrifices, and then I'll be no help to you, my prince. Soren hissed as he ducked under Asen's arm and hurried away. Go home. Come back tonight. Asen watched Soren disappear around a corner with a scowl. He could go back to Radamanthus' castle and come back later as requested. Or he could just have a quick look around himself. If Rurik was busy with some ritual and Soren was with him, it should be safe enough if he was quick. He looked both ways down the hall and then followed it in the opposite direction. Rurik lived in a massive spiral tower known as Magus Tower. It was designed to improve the flow of magic and aid in ritual magic. Asen had only been here a few times with Radamanthus, but he vaguely remembered a room full of books. He came to a fork where the stairs went both up and down. His magic indicated that Rurik was above him, so he took the stairs swiftly to the lower level. As he entered the room, he smirked. That had been easy. Bookshelves full of all manner of books lined this circular room. Discarded volumes lay scattered around on the floor, the tables, the chairs. How did anyone know where anything was in this disorganized mess? Asen slowed to peruse the titles on the nearest shelf. Excuse me, I don't believe you belong here. Asen jumped and whirled around, his eyes narrowed and one hand moving toward drawing his blade. At first he didn't see anyone. Was he hearing things? Who is there? The air seemed to solidify in front of him, and the misted appearance of a bespectacled man in heavy robes became apparent. I am Sia, the chronicler, master of this library. The spirit adjusted his ghostly glasses and squinted from habit. You are the prince. Ah, you have heard of me, Asen smirked. If you're the master of this library, you can find anything here. Sia shook himself, looking offended. Of course, it is my library. Well organized, everything in its place. I see that, Asen grumbled as he nearly tripped over a stack of books. I hate to trouble you, so I'll just tell you what I need and be on my way. Asen started, then paused to add, what my master needs, I mean. You wouldn't want to disappoint Radamanthus, I'm sure. Sia gave him a sour look and floated over to a desk. The books moved to and fro at the waving of the ghost's hands. What does that creature want now? He should know better than to ask favors of me. I serve his brother, not him. And I only serve Rurik because I must. You know of the celestial blades? Ashen asked, trying to sound casual as he picked up a book. She immediately appeared next to him and yanked the book out of his hands with shocking force for an incorporeal being. Do not manhandle my tomes, and everyone knows of the celestial blades. Be more specific. Stop wasting my time. Ashton bit back a retort about the man's ghostly state and how it would likely last throughout eternity. I want to know about... No! Do not say its name, Sia warned as the lights in the building flickered. Then he gave Ashton an incredulous look. Do you not know the magics practiced in this building or the power here? Watch your tongue! Ashton crossed his arms, scowling. Do you have a book about it or not? Instead of answering, he had turned in midair and hovered, staring at the doorway. Then he bowed low to the floor. Ashton felt a chill work down his spine. Rurik had caught him. His mind tried to come up with 1,000 excuses why he would be there, but Rurik was wiser than this ghost and harder to fool. Well, it seems my brother has misplaced his pet, Rurik said as he strolled into sight. He sent me, Ashton started, but the words died when he met Rurik's dark eyes. He could see his reflection in those black shining depths, and he looked like a frightened child caught doing something naughty. He stepped backward, away from the priest. Do not lie to me, child, Rurik chided. Sia, begone. I wish to have a private audience with the prince. Sia made a disgruntled noise, then vanished with an audible pop. The room grew noticeably warmer when the ghost was gone. Rurik smirked a little and walked closer to Ashton. You play with things you do not understand, child. Your immortality makes you reckless and bold. My brother's lessons only fuel your arrogance. Perhaps I should teach you humility. Ashton was unaccustomed to feeling the absolute terror that racked his mind. Every one of his master's rants about Rurik's perversions came flooding back. I should return to my master. He will be displeased. Rurik cornered Ashton so close that Ashton stumbled back into a bookcase, spilling tomes onto the floor. My brother is never pleased. Do you think I care? You came unbidden into my tower and sought to steal secrets. My brother understands punishments. Rurik reached to trail a talon down Ashton's cheek. You've grown into something quite marvelous, young prince. My brother might not appreciate your beauty, but I do. Ashton shuddered at the touch, his terror only escalating. He couldn't think. He couldn't use his magic. His heart thudded so loud in his chest he thought it might explode. The presence of the priest was overwhelming and drove away all sense. It made him want to submit, if only to appease this monster, so he could flee. Rurik leaned close to Ashton's ear, his voice a perverse hiss. Go back to your master, little rabbit. If I catch you in my tower again, I will thoroughly enjoy teaching you terror and humiliation you cannot even imagine. Ashton cringed as the monster's hands traced over him. Then the oppressive magic lifted, and he immediately launched himself through the shadows back to Radamanthus' castle. Once he closed the pathway with his magic and he was back in the safety of his chambers, he fell to his hands and knees and vomited from the terror and the implications of what could have happened. He would have been powerless to stop it. And that concludes chapter 13 of The Darkest Sword. It is available on Amazon.com as a paperback like this, with the beautiful cover, of course. And ebook and Kindle Unlimited if you'd like to look it up. Thank you for watching. Bye.